All right. So my next question, um, difficulties in tech.
Hmm.
So I know you said that things just kind of became easy for you. Nothing was a challenge ever for you.
Oh, that's not true. No,
So
like, well, difficulties in regards to like doing my work.
yeah, no, I'm kidding, by the way.
Yeah.
So what are some things that
Mm,
were difficult for you in the tech space, and like even now, like what are things that you find difficult, whether people or
it's the people.
okay,
It's the people.
okay,
But I'm also like I have a rare personality type.
okay,
Right. There's this personality type quiz that my friend sent me,
hmm,
right? And so I took it and I learned more about it or whatever. And so I'm introverted,
okay,
right? And it's crazy to be an introvert and a project manager. It's
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
how
and teaching,
I teach it. But consulting has helped me.
okay,
Consulting has shaped me and like has gotten me out of my shell to do what I need to do. And the biggest difficulty I can have sometimes is being around people too long. Like,
yeah,
I need my
yeah.
space.
Is this awkward right now?
No, no, but
I'm
like,
kidding.
so let's say when I was like doing consulting,
Yeah.
like I'd be in a room with like 100 people or like
Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah,
maybe 30 people,
yeah,
or like I'm used to having my own office, and then now like I'm working with 7 people in an office that's as big as the office I used to work in.
yeah, yeah,
So I had to struggle with that. I would
yeah.
be honest. So I had to become more of a people person,
Okay.
right? Like, because I was one of those techies, like, I'd be in the room by myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I had to overcome that. So
yeah,
sometimes, there's a little bit of social awkwardness there, just
yeah,
a tad bit.
yeah.
But I've gotten over it,
Okay.
you know. So I would say that was difficult. And another thing that I couldn't control were just like racist things that would happen
Yeah, yeah,
on the job. So that kind of sucked,
yeah.
to go through, or, just any type of discrimination
Right.
that could
Yeah,
come up. But, we get through it. You just apply for other jobs
yeah,
and you
yeah.
move forward.
No, I mean
Yeah.
and that's kind of what and it's up to you if you want to share or not, but that's
Mhm.
kind of what the reason why I asked about like your experience as a woman in tech, because I faced racism, in different aspects, being a black engineer, where especially when you lead, right? And they're like,
Mm.
bro, does he really know what he's talking about? Then it's
Mm-hmm.
like you gotta sit some folks down, like, hey, let me tell you how this works, all right? And other times, like, you ignore it. So how
Mm.
did you like? What are some experiences that you've had, and how did you overcome those? And you can share if you feel
Yeah.
like, yeah,
No, it's okay. It's
yeah,
just I'm just thinking about a time.
yeah,
So, I would say there was a instance where I had a lot of favor from my government counterparts.
yeah.
They loved me so much that when the contract ended that I was on, they put me in the RFP so the next company would hire me.
Nice, nice, yeah,
And so, when I got onto this new company, huge consulting firm,
hmm,
I was with the top of the top people on this project.
yeah,
And I don't know if they were hazing me, but they gave me a bit of a hard time when
yeah,
I came on. And I wanted to quit. And what's crazy is this is where I became a scrum master.
gotcha,
Yeah. So it's just so interesting to like see it all tied back. But I was gonna quit the first 6 weeks. I was like, yeah, y'all can keep your job.
right,
I don't want it.
yeah, yeah,
Because even like in the trainings, there was a situation where the guy that was training, he tried to make me seem that like I did not fit in.
like
And
culturally or
culturally,
gotcha,
there was a slide that came up and it was like a bunch of women. And he was like, oh, people don't normally look like this in this roles.
wow,
Yes. And so like it was just a lot
like doing a presentation,
during the presentation.
okay,
And yeah, it was pretty bad. And I ignored it. I know I shouldn't have ignored it, but I did.
Yeah.
Because I was in Virginia, right? And I feel like in certain areas, like especially like in the South,
Yeah.
it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Like you might say something is like racist to someone, or like you might express it to someone and they don't take it serious.
Right.
And so I might have maybe mentioned it to like my government counterparts, like
Yeah.
that I was having a hard time
Right.
because they really loved me and they
Yeah.
didn't want me to leave. But I
Right.
was like,
Right.
I don't know if I can work with these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just ignored it. It's hard to ignore something like that because
Yeah.
even like my tech lead that I was working with, he would always like make snark comments and try to make me feel like I didn't know what I was talking about. And Scrum is not difficult
Right. Yeah.
for me to not know what I'm talking about,
Right.
regardless.
Yeah.
And so it was very, very hard. And that was a time, like, honestly, I just leaned in
Yeah.
a lot to God and I was praying. I said, God, please
Yeah.
help me get out of here. And so the George Floyd situation happened, and I was the youngest Black person in leadership at this company,
Gotcha.
in this group.
Okay.
And we're on the calls, and my senior leader says something about, oh, does anyone have anything to share about how they're feeling about what's happening with this situation? And I'm like the only person on the call that could probably say anything, right? And I just hung up. And then he calls me back. And we just had this heart-to-heart conversation.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, these are all of the things that I've been going under in your leadership.
Right.
And like it took this situation for me to even be able to explain what was going on. So that's when actions were taken.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I was also added to like a group. And I told him, like, there's certain things that need to be done, like having sensitivity training, and like just taking different initiatives to make everybody more comfortable. Because I told him, I said, like, this is a very diverse project and everybody should feel included.
Right.
And there shouldn't be instances in which, people are feeling any kind of way because of how they look like,
Right.
And so he was very sympathetic. He was great. And, we began working some of those initiatives and they stopped bothering me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that. And ever since I left that job, I never really like experienced anything like that.
Yeah. Hey, what up, fam? This is Saul Levy, host of Africans in Tech, where we're building bridges and shaping futures in tech. Just a quick reminder for those who've not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. You can catch all of our content, including our whiteboard sessions, where you'll find our full-length videos on our channel. And hit that notification bell, fam.